GCU! Awesome. Can we give our Spirit programs one last round of applause, please? Sweet. Well, welcome to GCU. We're so excited to welcome another freshman class this year. My name is Luke Stoffel, and I'm the Havocs president.
And my name is Wilson Neitzel, and I'm the Havocs vice president.
Sweet. To get you guys loosened up a little bit and excited, you guys were great for the fight song, by the way. I know you don't know the words yet, but we'll get there. We're going to have everybody stand up in a few minutes, and we're going to play a game of heads or tails. So I'm going to flip a coin up here, and you're going to get to choose heads or tails, and the winners will come up on stage and will win a prize. A Thunder bobblehead, a jersey, a fanny pack, and a couple more things.
Yeah, so if you think we're going to flip heads, you're going to put both hands on your head. And if you think it's going to be tails, you're going to put both hands on your tail. So that's how it works.
All right, we will have everybody on your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. And if you get it wrong, you will sit back down. A lot of competitors. One winner.
All right, so go ahead and lock in your guesses. Heads,
all right,
tails.
Hands on your heads if you think it's going to be heads. Hands on your tail if you think it's going to be tails. All right, here we go. First coin flip. It is tails.
Ooh.
If you chose heads, please take a seat.
Got a lot of.
All right, lock those answers in again. We're going to do this fast. Lock those answers in. Heads or tails? Here we go. It is heads. Never tails twice in a row. Nice job, guys. All right, here we go again. Lock those answers in. This guy's sticking with heads.
I like it.
It is tails. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, we'll do a few more before we get down to the last couple. All right, lock those answers in. Heads or tails? It is heads.
I got you. I got you.
Looking around. I think one more, and then we'll bring the rest up on stage. All right, heads or tails? It is heads.
Oh.
All right, if you guys are still in the game, make your way up on stage.
Come on up.
Oh, yeah. Thunder is undefeated. He has never lost heads or tails. He gets it right every time. It's crazy. We got a few coming up. You guys can just walk up on here and make a line. I love your shirt. That's awesome. Yeah. We got 3, 4, 5. Cool. I'm going to have you guys say your first name so we know who to cheer for. All right. Go ahead and say your first name.
Chris. Mila.
Shara.
Monty.
Aurora.
Larissa.
Liz. Zoe.
Yeah, one more. Oh, we got a couple more.
Ashley.
Ashley.
And
Brian.
Awesome. Let's give it up for these guys. Okay. The finalists. Lock in your answers. Heads or tails? For everyone to see. So there's no cheating. All right. The coin is flipping. It is heads. If you chose tails, please take a seat. I'm sorry. Great job, guys. I still love your shirt. Yeah. Final 5. Here we go. Lock in those answers. Heads or tails? Split vote. It is tails.
oh,
All right. We got, 3 left? All right, please say your name again. And we're going to get really loud for each contestant. Here we go.
Aurora.
Liz. Zoe.
Awesome. All right. Final 3. And Thunder. Sorry, Thunder. All right. Lock in those answers. Heads or tails? You're all going heads. Not the wisest choice. Someone's got to go tails. Okay. Well, I'd already flipped it, and it is tails. I'm so sorry. All right. Final 2. They're fighting for which one? Okay, this is it. Flipping. It is heads.
Oh!
Congratulations. We will get you your prize. Great job, guys. Thanks, guys. Good job. All right, we're going to play a short Havocs video, and we'll be right back. Welcome to the biggest party in college basketball. GCU sports are more than just a game. They are an event. It is an opportunity for students, staff, and the community to come together in one place and cheer for one common goal. Nothing beats being a part of the GCU student section, so make sure to show your pride all throughout the year.
The Havocs took over Denver, Colorado last year when our men's basketball team made it into the March Madness tournament. Over 200 students flew to support our athletes, and we gained national attention once again.
The real party starts before the games even begin, with an event such as March for the Match for soccer games, where we all head to the stadium together as a community.
During the basketball season, students camp out for days at Camp Elliott to secure their spot at the basketball games. This is an awesome way to meet new friends and create new experiences.
Our goal is to support our student athletes with spirit and pride. Make sure to claim your tickets early and show up to all of the amazing games we have this year.
The biggest event of Welcome Week is this Friday, Lopapalooza. This is a look into all of the great aspects that GCU has to offer. So grab your roommates and a Stampede and come hang out together.
To get all information on being a Havoc and our exclusive Havocs Pro Pass, follow us on all social media platforms at GCU Havocs.
Being a Havoc is an experience like no other. Come join the community to cheer on all of our amazing athletes all year long.
Havocs. We'll see you soon. For those still walking in, I would ask you guys to just move towards the front. Plenty of room up here. So, awesome. Like the video said, we're the Havocs. We're the student section here at GCU. So everybody is automatically a Havoc. It's just what we call our students that attend all of our athletic events.
Yeah, there's no application process, no membership fees. Just if you're a student, you're a Havoc.
There is one thing, though. As you see on the screen, the Havocs Pro Pass is something that you can purchase. It comes with this sweet gear, sporting the new logo and some of our new gear options. So this will go on sale this Sunday at 6 p.m. So make sure you're following our Instagram, GCU Havocs, to stay up to date with that stuff. And then something really important with that is the 24-hour ticketing priority for men's basketball games.
Oh yeah, and the 24-hour ticketing priority is very important because a lot of our students want to camp out days before the games even start. So you want to make sure you have your ticket secured so you know you'll have a seat in the arena.
Yes, and so new this year, we are requiring every student to actually claim their free student ticket online. So we're going to have a QR code up on screen. Students, if you guys have not set up your student ticket account, I would advise you to just go ahead and pull out your phone and do that right now. You can click the register button and input all of your student information. Make sure you use your student email, your student ID, all that jazz, and you guys should be good to go to claim any ticket for athletic events at GCU. You should never be paying for an event, so if it says buy tickets, you are in the wrong spot. Our first big event is actually this Friday. It's Lopapalooza. So again, as you have your phone out, I would encourage you guys to just go ahead and claim your ticket right here, right now.
And parents, don't think we forgot about you. We also have season tickets for you guys to purchase, and also just regular games that you guys can attend. You can support your students as they're in the student section, and you'll want to make sure to use code HERD, H-E-R-D, as a special promo code for today.
Awesome. We're going to show one more short video about ticketing and just how to register, and then we'll get out of your hair. So thanks, guys. Welcome to Grand Canyon University. New to GCU this year, we will require every student to claim their free student ticket for each athletic event on campus. Follow me through this easy step-by-step guide to secure your spot in the stands. Grab your laptop or smartphone and open up a web browser. Type in gculopes.com/tickets and hit enter. Look for the student tickets option at the top right corner and give it a click. Here's where the magic happens. On the student tickets page, find the register button and click that. Time to provide some info. Grab your student ID and type that in. From there, you'll be able to create a password and complete your account registration. If you run into any issues, please contact the box office or stop by the arena, and they will be happy to help. Be sure to follow at GCU Havocs on all social media to stay up to date with anything Havocs. Almost forgot. One more thing that we like to do here at GCU. Everyone gets excited for it. A little something we call T-shirt time. Let's go. Get on your feet. Free T-shirts.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lope Country. My name is Charity Norman, and congratulations. Welcome to GCU. You have finally made it. Good job. Before I get started, we're going to get to know each other a little bit in a way that's going to be helpful when I come up later to dismiss you, so pay close attention. Give me a shout if you are a new resident student, that means a student who lives on campus, and you moved in today. Great. Give me a shout if you are a new resident student and you did not move in today. Awesome. Give me a shout if you are a new student who's commuting to campus. All right, represent. Love it, love it. Give me a shout if you're a family member or supporter of a new student. It's so nice to meet you all. Remember your answers because they will be important later after this session when we head to what's coming up next. But before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Department of Welcome Programs and what you can expect throughout the rest of this session and the rest of this week. So as I mentioned, I'm the Director of Welcome Programs. We are the department that's responsible for creating a practical and impactful orientation experience for you and helping you transition in the best way possible to your life at GCU. And we do that through two huge programs. One is Welcome Week and one is New Student Orientation. So your New Student Orientation experience happens in two parts. The first part should be done already. It happens before you arrive to campus. It's called your New Student Orientation Online module. Give me a shout if you completed your NSO module. Guys, you're great. I'm so excited. If you haven't completed your module yet, please be sure to do so before you start classes on Tuesday. It's filled with really essential information like our academic processes and policies, and it's meant to prepare you academically, socially, and emotionally for the change and the adjustment to life here at GCU. Once you do complete that module, you can show us your certificate of completion at the Welcome Programs booth here during Welcome Week, and we will give you a free GCU t-shirt. Woo, yes, free shirts. And the second part, so first part's the online module that happens before you arrive. The second part happens once you arrive, and it's an in-person experience. So the in-person experience happens today. It's the welcome session, and it's your orientation groups if you're a student, or for parents, it's the welcome session, which is the session, and then a parent and family orientation afterwards. So throughout this session, you will have the opportunity to hear from our student body president and vice president, Jagger Halverson and Amaya de la Cruz. You'll have a chance to hear from our university president, Brian Mueller, from our provost, Dr. Randy Gibb, and from our VP of Student Affairs, Dr. Tim Griffin, who will be officially commissioning you to the herd here at GCU. Then after the session, I will be back up to dismiss you to what's coming up next. So for students, you will be headed to your orientation groups, which again are immediately following this session. These groups are led by current GCU students, so they know the lay of the land, they're really familiar with GCU, and it's sessions about what you can expect here at GCU as you are completing your first semester, and some practical tips. You'll learn how to use your meal cards, you'll get to know other students who are in your same living area or who are studying something similar to what you're studying. So don't miss out on these orientation opportunities. Students who complete their entire orientation experience are much more likely to succeed throughout their first semester and their first year here at GCU. So, and parents and families, you will be invited to stay here in the arena as your students leave for their orientation groups. So you will be invited to a Q&A session about student safety and wellness, academic success, and campus involvement here. And we offer those sessions in both English and in Spanish. So, se ofrece una orientación en español para padres y familias a quien le gustaría pasar. Esta sesión se llevará a cabo en Edificio Tecnología, Edificio 57, Salón 130. If at any point you have any questions about Welcome Week, this is our contact information here. You can scan this QR code and get a full Welcome Week schedule of events, a campus map. You can purchase your tickets to the Jordi Searcy concert on September 4th, and you can have lots of your questions answered here. You're also welcome to email us, or you can call us or text us at this phone number as well at any point throughout the semester, and we're happy to answer any questions about Welcome Week, about new student orientation, about parent and family orientation, or just about anything about GCU. We can get you connected to the correct department. So that is all that I have for you for now. I'm going to turn it over to Jagger and Amaya. Please give them a round of applause.
How's everyone doing? Who's excited to be at GCU? All right, we're going to try that one more time. Yesterday was way louder. Who's excited to be at GCU? There we go. Hi guys, I'm Jagger Halverson. I'm the student body president this year. I studied government with an emphasis in state and local policy, and I'm a senior. I'm also from Northwest Iowa, so is there anyone from Iowa? Yeah, sweet.
Hello everyone, my name is Amaya de la Cruz. I'm going to be a senior this year, and I'm from Sacramento, California. Let's go. I'm studying communications with an emphasis in broadcasting and new media, as well as a minor in pre-law, and I get the opportunity to serve as the student body vice president.
So we are a part of ASGCU, which is Associated Students of Grand Canyon University, which is the student government on campus. So we do everything from sustainability to community engagement, which puts on huge events like 4,000 people will show up to those on the field just literally outside the arena, everything in between. So we are the liaison from the students to administration. We meet with faculty. We get the ability to hear the students' concerns and voices and then relay those onto administration. And so we have a vision and a purpose to make your guys' lives here at GCU as best as they possibly could be.
Back in January, when Jagger and I ran to be in this position, we really wanted to highlight on 3 main aspects: to prioritize, stabilize, and harmonize this campus. And these 3 points kind of encompass this big theme of "this is now." Mine and Jagger's main goal in office is to serve all of you, the GCU students of today. So if you guys have any questions, any concerns, please feel free to come to the office, find an ASGCU representative, and we'll be more than happy to represent, advocate, and serve all of you.
And for all of you people that may be extroverts in the room, go out, make sure that you guys are playing a midnight spike ball game in the Grove or hanging out with people in Chick-fil-A or Subway line. And for your introverts, that's going to be totally fine. You guys have the ability to continue to meet people, whether it's in your dorm, whether it's in your apartment, literally going out and meeting people again at Chick-fil-A or Subway. Just get involved. Whether you guys want to be a part of clubs, freshman class council, which we have to plug, Amaya will do that, and then obviously just literally walking around campus and meeting people. We encourage you all to get involved here in GCU because 9 out of 10 students will say that they come here for the community, and we want to emphasize that as much as possible.
I remember my freshman year during Welcome Week, I was so overwhelmed, I was hot, I was nervous, and I'm sure a lot of you are kind of feeling that same way, but I assure you, it's going to be okay. The best tip that I have for you is to get involved. And luckily, in ASGCU, we have a perfect way for all freshmen to do that. So who's a freshman in here? Oh yeah. So we have a team called the Freshman Class Council. What it is, it consists of 30 freshmen that are able to represent their class by planning an event, by talking to other freshmen, and kind of being the voice for them within the student government. So if you want to apply for Freshman Class Council, it's an awesome opportunity to have some community, make some friends, and it's really good for your resume too. So if you're interested in that, the applications close September 8th. And again, I did FCC, Jagger did FCC, and it is honestly the best decision that I made my freshman year. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a part of the organization. I assure you, it is awesome. September 8th, the applications close, and I really encourage all of you guys to do it.
Yeah, we couldn't be any more excited to welcome you guys to GCU. You guys are going to be a part of an amazing community of faith and fellowship and meet your lifelong friends, people that will probably be in your wedding. And so really take that and run with it. Additionally, we have ASGCU up here just under, so follow us on Instagram for all of the events and dates. Highly recommend that you guys follow us on Instagram. That's my shameless plug. And then lastly, if you guys see us around campus, please stop us, say hi, talk to us, bring your concerns, your comments, anything. We want to hear it, and we want to meet you guys. So please welcome President Mueller up to the stage.
Well, welcome to Arizona. Welcome to GCU. It's hard for me to sometimes take all this in. 15 years ago, this is our 15th year. The current management team came 15 years ago. There were 900 students on campus. There'll be almost 26,000 students on campus this year. It's been an unbelievable period of growth. Yeah. We're really, really grateful for that, and we know that God has done this here, and we need now to make sure we steward this thing the best that we possibly can. So welcome to GCU, and I hope that you can help us do that. I'll give you 3 ways. One thing, I know that 18 years old, you know, we look at it and we say, man, you got your whole life in front of you. How exciting is that? But the flip side, like Amaya said, is it also can be, people can get anxious about that. What should I be doing? Am I doing the right things? Am I going in the right direction? I think there are 3 things that you can do to really relieve that anxiety. One, from an academic standpoint, being in Arizona is a great place to be. I want you to think about that. Arizona's economy is going to explode in the next 10 years. All the companies that are moving here right now from California and from Illinois and from New York is creating a robust economy. The supply demand in the labor force has flipped. There is way more demand than there is supply. And so as a college student, you're 18 years old just getting started, and you got a lot of things to learn. But I would tell you, get started right away with whatever major you're currently thinking about going into. Get off to a fast start. get to class, sit in the front row, do all the reading, get to know your professors, really get to know your professors, because the opportunities for you to step into an internship right away as a sophomore in college exists in Arizona. There are so many opportunities. At graduation, I will walk around and I will ask students, congratulations on what's next. Most of them, many of them will tell me, I got an internship during my junior year, I worked it my entire senior year, and they hired me before I even graduated. I'm ready to go. Whether you're going to go into technology or engineering or business or nursing or whatever area, start connecting with your professors, start connecting with the dean, and start thinking about getting involved. There's paid internships out there that you might be able to get involved with as a sophomore or junior in college. And so don't wait. Get off to a fast start academically. Don't settle for mediocre work. Work hard. Make a good impression. Get great recommendations from your faculty members and get started in your career early on. That's number one. Secondly, you'll hear a lot about this. I mean, there's just so much opportunity here. I will mention two things that I think, music, theater, dance, many of you were involved in that in high school. We've got over 800 students involved in that here on our campus, but you don't have to be a major to get involved. Our music studio, for example, is for our worship arts majors, but it's for anybody that has music talent and wants to develop that as a student, whether you're a music major or not. Sometimes the stars in our theater plays are not people who are theater majors. They're just people who have talent and want to be involved, and so that's a great opportunity. I grew up playing sports, and if you've been playing baseball or volleyball or whatever since you've been 5 or 6 years old and you love the sport, you might not be a Division I athlete, but our club sports programs are really strong. We have great facilities, we have good coaches, they play 25, 30-game schedules, we send them to national championships. It's a way to get to know people, and it's a way to extend the thing that you've loved all your life 3 or 4 more years in college. And by the way, I said 3 or 4 more years. Almost 50% of our students now are graduating in 3 years. And when I announce that at graduation, I get a big cheer from the parents because you just took a year off their costs. Talk to your counselor. It is possible to graduate from here in 3 years and get off to a quick start and take out less debt possibly. But our club sports program, our intramural program, our music, theater, and dance programs are all great ways to develop your talent. It doesn't have to stop at the end of high school. Thirdly, and this is the most important thing, at the end of our mission statement, and I would encourage you all to go take a look at it, we say our purpose is to bring about human flourishing by putting others' needs in front of our own. One of the very unique things about Grand Canyon University is the neighborhood that we live in. When we came here 15 years ago, we were 900 students and a lot of debt. We worked 3 years. We came up with a financial model that we thought would allow us to invest a lot in a college campus. The question is, do you leave it here or do you move it to Scottsdale or Paradise Valley or Gilbert or one of those beautiful places? We decided that we were going to live out our faith by planting our flag right here. I think if Jesus came back today and he came back to the valley, he might not go to Scottsdale. He might come here. Christianity is the only religion in the world that migrates. It started in Jerusalem. It moved to North America. Now it's moving to Africa, South America, Central America. Why? Christianity goes where people are hurting. The message resonates where people are hurting. And so there are It's a neighborhood of immigrants, and there is poverty in our neighborhood. We put together a 5-point plan 8, 9 years ago to transform this neighborhood as a Christian community, and it's making a huge impact. Number one, a place like this needs jobs, and we've created 16,000 jobs here. This is becoming known as a place to come and work and build a career. Secondly, we needed to get the neighborhood safe. It's not perfect. Our campus is very safe because of our own security. but the neighborhood's getting better. We're investing heavily in it. We need to make it safe for our neighbors. The third thing we need to do is rebuild the homes. We have the largest Habitat for Humanity program in the world going on here. You can help us with that. There will be times during the year where we'll go out, 300 of us, we'll work on 10 homes on a Saturday for about 6 hours, and we'll completely change that home. We'll do landscaping, painting, roofs, whatever that home needs. It's making a huge impact on housing values in this neighborhood. The fourth thing is we have a huge tutoring program for our neighborhood kids after school between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock. There are jobs available if you're interested in doing that. The jobs are, you're called a lead. The tutoring center is on 27th Avenue in Camelback. If you have an interest in that, ask your academic counselor to help you where to make contact. But that led to a scholarship program, and we're making huge impact on the children in the neighborhood who don't get help after school because their parents haven't graduated from college. They haven't graduated from high school. They can't help with algebra. And then the fifth thing is a thing called City Serve. We really need your help with that. We really need your help with that. It's a major deal. We have 2 guys that run it, and it's done with volunteers, but we get trucks coming from all over the country. Amazon, Costco, Walmart, Target. Things get sold into the marketplace. They get returned. They can't be resold. They were taken to landfills. Now they come to us. We have a 100,000 square foot warehouse. We're getting 2 trucks a week with brand new household goods in them. We unload them. We put it in the warehouse, and then we have 120 points of distribution where we get that stuff into the hands of people who need it. It's a tremendous way to tell the community who we are as a Christian community, that we absolutely feel good about being here and that we're going to bring out transformation in a way the government could never bring about transformation. Christian communities can do things that the government can never do, and we're proving that right here. As you go about your time here, thank you. As you go about your time here, you know, it's about thinking about how you want to live your life, what kind of job you want, what kind of career you're going to build. You're going to make friends. You're going to build a network of friends. But if all of us can stay focused on making sure that it's the needs of others that are more important than our needs, that reflects Jesus better than anything else we can do. We have a chance to to be a great witness in the community that we live in. Now, there's only one time we won't do that, okay? Many of you might have heard that there's a tension between Grand Canyon University and Arizona State University, which is in Tempe. There was tension for a while. When we first went Division I, they didn't want to play us. They boycotted us. They didn't say good things. And we don't think that way. I said, you know, we always got to think about the opportunity. Think about the opportunity if we would play each other. We've got Grand Canyon University, a Christian university in West Phoenix. We got the Arizona State University, Sun Devils in Tempe. Those of you that are biblically literate, I think you already know where I'm going here. We could schedule a game downtown at U.S. Airways Center or whatever they call it now. We could advertise that game for 40 days and 40 nights as the Christians against the Devils. How many of you would buy a ticket to that game? Of course you'd buy a ticket to that game. We'd make so much money, we get 60, they get 40, because it's my idea. Other than that, welcome to Phoenix, welcome to Grand Canyon. I hope this is the best 3 or 4 years of your life. Thank you for being here, and please welcome our provost, Randy Gibb.
All right. Good afternoon. You can see why I would absolutely love working here, to work for and be part of the team that President Mueller has put together. Love his passion, his purpose, his leadership. And you're going to hear some common themes that all of us have addressed. And this redundancy can be a good thing, to really stress the importance. And we're really excited to support you as you go forward. But first, we know who's from Iowa, who's from California, who's from Wisconsin. Yes, all right. God's country, all right. So I love my job. I've been here since 2014. I came in as the Dean of the Collegiate College of Business, And to be involved with a Christ-centered missional university with all of you that have a heart to serve is, I just love coming here every day. Can't say enough about it. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about. 3 things. Don't go it alone, own your own learning, and start now. Okay, so first, don't go it alone. This arena is full. It was full yesterday. It's going to be full the next couple days as well. You are not alone. I cannot stress enough to reach out, make a friend. A lot of freshmen, their first year, they feel alone, but they're surrounded by hundreds of other students who feel the same way. So get a study partner, get to know your roommate, right? But also reach out to your faculty. We have something called Lopes First, a culture that we get to live and work on this amazing, beautiful campus because of you, our Lopes, our antelopes. So reach out to them for help. Get to know. This isn't high school, all right? This is college. Our faculty want to pour into you. We're a very student-centric university, so I can't stress that enough. Not to go it alone, get to know your teachers. We also have 13 ACE centers. ACE stands for Academic and Career Excellence Centers. So you can go there and get tutoring. They have After Dark series. They have special workshops for math and sciences. And they also help with career services in terms of the internships President Mueller was talking about, to get a job, to build your profile, your brand. So move from this social media profile to a professional business profile moving forward. You all have had amazing success so far in your life. Well, brand that on LinkedIn, brand that on social media to project yourself to get these amazing jobs that you're going to be after. So again, 13 ACE centers all over campus, and ACE, academic and career. It's a great resource hub. And then the last part of the don't go it alone is to get involved, and that's what everybody else has already talked about. Play an intramural sport, play flag football, get involved with a club, do something, anything to make that connection. Where we worry as academics is, and anybody in the university, is that some students just all alone in their dorm room studying, going to class, then they go back alone to their dorm room. Don't be that student. Get involved, and even a couple activities correlates to success in the classroom because, again, you're meeting more friends. And that's coming from the academic guy saying, don't just study, right? Get involved, budget your time, and the busier you are, typically you end up managing your time better. All right, number 2, own your own learning, all right? Earn your grade. High school behind you, wherever else you came from, the bar has been raised. College level work, we expect you to step up and do the requirements of our academic degree programs, and we've challenged our faculty to raise the bar with you. There are 254 dedicated, quiet study spaces on this campus, plus empty classrooms during the day. Well, there are not that many empty during the day, but in the evening, there are empty classrooms. So there are a phenomenal amount, an impressive number of spaces you can go to study. So again, 254. There's 18 collaborative spaces in the library. And every dorm, there's 6 to 8 study spots. And there's other spots all over campus to get together with friends, whiteboard, collaborate, and do some group study. The last part of own your own learning has to do with the importance of integrity, academic integrity, character, honor, and ethics. All right? Artificial intelligence, AI, amazing technology, right? So we want to embrace it. We want you to learn how to use it, how to respect it, but at the same time, leverage it appropriately. Don't cheat yourself. Own your own learning. And we're all learning. By tomorrow, a new version of some open AI tool is going to be out, and we're working with our faculty, we're working with our team of how do we handle this moving forward. It's a global issue. It's amazing technology, but we need to use it the right way. The last topic is to start now. So number 3 is dream big, make it happen, all right? And you heard from President Mueller about being a freshman and getting involved. Don't wait. I just want to stress that don't put yourself in a box. You are not defined by your major. You could be a finance major, but you love marketing and social media and graphics, so minor in graphic arts. Minor in something else that you love and have a passion for, and over time that's going to build your brand, and that is your profile. That is who you are. You're not a finance major. You are your own individual self and the best version of yourself by living out your own God-given gifts. So I really want to stress that you can start building your career now. And how can you do that? We have over 400 companies that come on campus every semester. We have 70 hiring events. Go to those right now. Go to them. I think there's an accounting hiring event already in the first part of September because that's when the big firms are looking at accounting students. Well, go. Learn, critique the upperclassmen and how they're doing, what they're wearing, what they're not wearing, what they're saying. Look at their resumes. Live and learn and just get involved in any way you can. So I can't stress to go to those events. And finally, remember, companies need you. The reason why over 400 companies come to our campus is because they need you. They need your talent. They need your perspective. They need your skills. So be confident knowing that people want to hire you. All right, well, that's about all I had. Super happy to meet and talk with any of you. I absolutely love talking with students about their journey on campus or their career journey. So if you see me around, please punch me in the arm, get my attention, and let's sit down and meet. So let's do this. Fired up for the semester. We'll see you around campus. And with that, I'll turn it over to our amazing campus pastor, Dean of Students, Tim Griffin.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. How many of you moved in today? Are you still hot? I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do about that. God had that in store for us, and we're just learning how to live with it, right? We moved here about 20 plus years ago from Southern California, and we're still adjusting to the heat. So it's supposed to cool off a little bit by Saturday, I think down in the 90s, which for us around here, that's like jacket weather. But we're glad you got moved in. So I got a question for you. How many of you, this is your first student to drop off at college? So my guess is you are navigating some emotions. You know, you're preparing to leave. You're on your way to Target probably after this to buy some things, to stock up the refrigerator or to whatever. How many of you are dropping off your last student at college? Yeah. We sent 2 boys through GCU, and they are now married and giving us grandbabies, and it will go fast. So let me just tell you, I remember our orientation experience and our moving experience a number of years ago, and it's a blink of an eye, it'll be over. So let me just encourage you, make the most of it. Families, students, this is a very, very special time in your life, and we want to make it a very important time that you will remember for the rest of your days. So we feel really honored that you selected GCU to be a part of your family's experience, and we want to serve you well. So just a couple thoughts that I want to echo from what you've already heard. One is to be engaged, to really get involved in things around campus. President Mueller, Dr. Gibbs shared with you how important it is to get started right out of the gate, to don't wait for the 3rd week or the 6th week. Get started the very first week of classes. But outside of that, when you're outside of the classroom, there are all kinds of opportunities for you to meet people, make friends, find clubs and organizations, events and activities that will be a part of your experience at GCU. We had a bunch of events last night. We have more tonight. They'll be going on throughout the week. And so students, this is a great time for you to experience what GCU is all about. And our hope is that you will begin to make connections with activities or individuals that will make a difference in your life. So don't let the opportunity to get connected pass you by. The second thought I have is to appreciate how important it is to serve others. GCU has a DNA that is built on the idea of serving one another. It comes from the heart of Jesus. And we want to make sure that continues to be a part of our community and our culture on campus. We have a lot of students that participate in spiritual formation activities across campus, beginning with chapels on Monday mornings. We have another chapel on Tuesday night, another one on Thursday. We have a variety of community experiences, but we also have small group experiences where students get to be in community together, either in large settings or in small settings, or to get together to go serve people off campus. I hope that you will find those opportunities and you'll invest yourself in them, because it is a difference maker for our students. It really does impact others when we think about them more than we do our own selves. Lastly, prepare to grow. Students, you are going to be challenged inside the classroom and outside the classroom. There will be all kinds of things that you will need to think about and make decisions about. And our hope is that you'll grow, that you'll learn, you'll become the adult that you intend to, that your parents are hoping for while you begin your academic career at GCU. Now, parents, this is also an opportunity for you to grow as well. I realize it's going to be more difficult for some of you. Maybe this is your first time to have this kind of separation between you and your student. And it's going to be challenging for you to kind of cut some of those emotional ties to them as they now become an adult in this way. And we hope that you will experience the blessings of seeing them grow and seeing them mature and make those decisions, whether they're good decisions or poor decisions, and you'll let them learn from them. So we are excited that you're here. It's going to be a phenomenal year, and we are hopeful that you will, at a distance perhaps as family, get to experience what your students are experiencing while they live here on campus. So we're expecting great days this year. So I want to invite you to take out your phones, students, and turn your attention to the screen. We're going to watch a video, and I think you're going to really have a lot of fun as you follow the prompts on the screen. Wasn't that fun? Students, there are a lot of people in this room that know exactly how you feel today. So we hope that this will be a great experience for you this year, and that's a little indication of what you're going to experience as a student at GCU. It is my privilege to commission you as a student at Grand Canyon University. So I want to invite you to find that pin that you received on the way into the arena today. If you'll take that out, we're going to use that here in just a moment. Students, for this portion of orientation, please take out the pen handed to you as you entered. If you have misplaced your pen, please get the attention of a nearby staff or student who can provide a replacement for you. We'll wait a minute until you have a pen in your hand. A commissioning is the act of granting certain powers or the authority to carry out a particular task or duty, to authorize or engage someone to do something. Today, it is my honor to commission you into our student body here at GCU. Students, family members, friends, student leaders, and staff, these new students have been called to their educational journey at Grand Canyon. The call of students is to obtain knowledge and skills through experience and study within the missional, Christ-centered, and innovative context of GCU. Ultimately, we are all called to service, integrity, and lifelong learning. New students, please stand and remain standing if you are able. Students, as members of the GCU community, you are challenged to become innovative thinkers, effective communicators, global contributors, and transformative leaders who will change your communities by placing the interests of others before your own. In pursuit of these attributes, you will be challenged to learn from the Christian worldview, grow your faith in Jesus, practice empathy, and embrace the reality that people are different and that by understanding others, we learn to understand ourselves. You'll be challenged both inside and outside of the classroom to work creatively with excellence and integrity toward virtuous and innovative solutions to complex problems. You'll be challenged to learn to communicate proficiently and to understand how your words impact others emotionally and intellectually. You'll be challenged to strive toward a path of leadership and influence, exercising unselfishness and working to transform relationships and organizations on earth that reflect those of the kingdom of heaven. Students, do you commit to pursuing these qualities which are the foundation of the culture here at Grand Canyon University? If so, answer, we do. GCU student family and friends, please stand and remain standing if you are able. So family, please join these students. Family and friends, as your student takes this next step into maturity and adulthood, you will be challenged to allow them to exercise their independence and experience the results of their decisions. You'll be challenged to move your mindset from activator to encourager, and to acknowledge that only the freedom of your student, the authority of GCU, and the will of God will determine the outcomes of their educational journey. Family and friends, do you promise to support your student in learning and to respect the university and teaching about the Christian worldview and the role in innovative thinking, effective communication, global contribution, and transformative leadership? If so, answer, we do. Students, please hand your pens to a family member, friend, or someone nearby, a member of the GCU community. May this pen be a sign as a representation of you becoming a member of the GCU student body. Family, friends, staff, please carefully pin the student. I hereby officially commission you in as a member of the GCU student body and welcome you to our community. Congratulations. Before I invite Charity back to the platform, would you join me in prayer? Our God and Heavenly Father, we pause for this moment to acknowledge you. You are a good and gracious and merciful God, and we come with praise in our hearts for you. God, we thank you for these new GCU students, and we pray your blessings upon them. We pray that their families will support them and encourage them along their academic journey here at GCU. God, we trust you for a great year. We commit it to you, for we ask it in Jesus' name, and for his sake I pray. Amen and amen. I want to encourage you to go ahead and find your seat. She's going to give you some more instructions about what's to follow. Right after this meeting, you're going to hear her give you a few more directions about what's to follow. I really want to encourage you parents to remain for the parent orientation to follow this service. Stay in this room. I think you're going to learn some incredible things that will help you as a parent and a family member to support your student while they're at GCU. God bless you.
Awesome. Congratulations, guys. So I'm going to give you your instructions for where everybody is going next. So remember all the answers that you gave at the beginning of the session about who moved in today, who didn't move in, who moved in but not today. This slide shows everyone where you are headed next. So as you can see, we are in the arena, that building number 48 there. Students, you will be exiting first, and I'll be dismissing you by your building, and you will be headed straight outside of the arena, and the lawn is on your left-hand side. You can tell that it's O groups because there's a lot of O leaders standing there cheering. And then the Spanish parent, family, and orientation está en edificio 57, salón 130. And so for our new students, you will be going to an O group according to the building that you moved into or will move into. And you will be separated into group numbers according to your move-in time. So if you moved into Juniper Hall at 10 a.m., then you will be in Juniper Group 10. Or if you moved into Ocotillo Hall at 3 p.m., then you will be in Ocotillo Group 3. So, okay, quiz for you guys. If you moved into Saguaro at 9 a.m., then you would be in Saguaro Group. Okay, trick question. If you moved into Diamondback at noon, you'll be in Diamondback. Great, you guys are ready for college. So the next slide, so first students will be dismissed, parents and families will hang out here, and then high school students, if you are a sibling or a guest and you're in high school and you don't want to hang out for the parent and family orientation, that's okay. We have an experience just for you, a social gathering that will be in Thunderground, but you also will be dismissed after the students. So hang out after all the students leave. We want to make sure everybody finds their O group first, and then we will dismiss everybody else. It does require a pre-registration. You can scan this QR code if you would like to get signed up, or if you want to sign up at Thunderground specifically, then that's fine too. So without further ado, I will dismiss our first group of students, which are Acacia, Agave, Antelope, Cactus, Camelback, and Canyon. If you live in any of those buildings, please stand up and exit and head to the Prescott lawn. Otherwise, please stay seated. quick request to please stay seated. We will dismiss you for a brief intermission very soon. Right now, we want to make sure that all the students successfully get out of the arena and into their orientation groups. So I'll be dismissing our next group of residents, those who live in Chaparral, Diamondback, Ironwood, Juniper, and Ocotillo. You are now dismissed. Next group of resident students, Prescott, Roadrunner, Saguaro, Sedona, Sonora, Willow. Everybody else, please stay seated. We will dismiss you momentarily. If you are a commuter student, or if you live in a living area that I didn't call, then you are now dismissed. So commuters and all other buildings, you are now dismissed to head to your orientation groups. school students who are interested in attending the high school student event, you can go ahead and head out into the lobby, and your event will be in Thunderground. Thank you for your patience. You were dismissed for a brief intermission. We will be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes to kick off the parent and family orientation. Y para la orientación en español está en edificio 57? Cuarto 130. Thank you. All right, families, we are going to go ahead and get started. I know some of you are still making your way back in from the intermission, which is completely fine. We just want to make sure that we get you guys out of here at a reasonable time. This is a lot of sitting. So if I didn't have the chance to meet you in the last session, my name is Charity Norman. I'm the Director of Welcome Programs here at Grand Canyon University. And because this is the family session, you guys get pictures of our families. So this is my family. My husband, Dustin, we've been married for 10 years, and my daughter, Elliot, who is 6, and she is awesome, and she's one of my favorite people in the world, and I'm one of her favorite people in the world, and I hope that by the time she is a freshman in college, we will still be each other's favorite people in the world, so that's the prayer. But what I want to go over with you guys today is first, you will have the opportunity to hear from professionals across campus and from our Parent and Family Programs Coordinator. You will have a Q&A session today where you will get to type in questions that we can send to the panelists, and any questions that don't get answered, you can ask to Parent and Family Programs, or some of us will hang back afterwards. But really what I want you to glean from today is something that I have gleaned after a number of years of watching this session and listening to the wisdom up here, and that your student is in great hands here at Grand Canyon University. And you can have a lot of confidence in the college and a lot of confidence in the Lord and in our love that we have for the student. So I hope if there's anything that you hear today, that's what you hear from us. So I also want to share with you what your students will be experiencing in their orientation groups. So these groups are designed to introduce students to community and to resources here on campus, and they are led by a returning student here on campus who's an expert on campus and campus involvement. So we share this schedule with you so that you resist the urge to contact them during their orientation groups to protect this process of building their community here on campus. So from 5 to 8 tonight, they will be meeting with their orientation groups and getting to know one another. Their O groups are about 10 to 15 students, just depending on the building. So a small group of students, it's great for introverts and extroverts to get to know one another. Then they will be having dinner with one another. That's a great chance for them to learn how their meal plans work and learn the best dining areas on campus, learn how to use the camera that tells them how long the line is at Chick-fil-A, that kind of thing. Then they will be attending breakout sessions where they'll be learning about some of the social and psychological changes that happen during your first semester and your first year at college to normalize that change for them. And then the last thing is that they will be dropped off at tonight's evening event as well, and they can attend that. So if you want to meet up with them later tonight, we just ask that you do it after the start of the night event, and to honestly let them attend the night event at least for a little while, just so that they have a chance to socialize. Otherwise, if you can resist and wait until tomorrow, then to give them their first night here on campus is really a gift to them, truly. So I also want to share with you what our orientation group learning outcomes are, so you can, again, understand what it is that they will be learning. So our outcomes for our orientation groups are to learn the GCU values, instill a sense of belonging, to practice appropriate vulnerability and understanding how to open up and how much sharing is too sharing, how much is the right amount of sharing, etc. Providing an opportunity reflection and instilling a sense of confidence and ownership over their own academic responsibilities, and then to learn to navigate classes in campus and to normalize the change that they are about to experience here at GCU. So we have a really intentional program ready for them, and we just ask that you help to protect the process and to trust in the process here that we have built for your student. I also want to share some of what you can expect. Many of you have said that this is not your first go-around, so this might feel familiar to some of you, but for those of you who it is, or maybe some who just haven't had some of the language for some of the changes that your students have experienced, hopefully you find this helpful. So we base a lot of our orientation model off of something called the W theory, which is a little self-explanatory. It's shaped like a W. It has some ups and downs, and it has 5 specific points to it. And students go through the 5 specific points at different times, and some of them are more extreme than others, just depending on the circumstance and depending on the nature of the student. But I do want to share with you what these points are so that you can know a little bit of what is normal and when, if you get a phone call from your student or a text from your student at a specific point in the semester. So here's the W. The first phase is the honeymoon phase. This is familiar terminology probably for many of you. It's the phase that they are probably in right now. It's welcome week. It's usually the first 2 to 3 weeks of the semester, sometimes 4 weeks. Sometimes if you have a super optimistic outgoing student, it might be a majority of the first semester. But typically what we see is the first couple weeks of the semester is this honeymoon phase. It's this rosy, excited, everybody's my best friend, this feels like summer camp, everyone is exactly the same as me and believes what I believe and experiences what I experience and has the same word for soda or pop or Coke or whatever, and everyone belongs here. And while everyone does belong here, some of those feelings do start to fade after a while when you start to experience some differences that you have with your peers around you. And that's often what we call the culture shock. The culture shock is that like aha moment that this place isn't perfect, because nothing is this side of heaven, and it can sometimes be a little bit jarring of, oh, I thought GCU was going to feel like summer camp and I wasn't going to have any conflict ever, and then suddenly, like, my roommate has a different opinion of like what dirty dishes mean or when we should be taking out the trash. So sometimes these roommate conflicts can happen around this like culture shock period, or it can also sometimes manifest in like, oh, I scheduled myself for a 7 a.m. class and that's really hard to get up for, and now I'm super tired because I also want to be social at night. That's another normal side effect of culture shock. Typically we see this in late September, early October, sometimes mid-October. Sometimes the culture shock can be a little bit further extended. Again, it kind of depends on the type of student, but it's normal. It's very, very normal for us to go in super excited. You guys have probably experienced this in many other phases of your life. You go in super excited and everything seems great, and then suddenly it's like, this is not what I was expecting it to be. And that's the culture shock. So the next phase that they will hit most likely is the initial adjustment phase. That is, okay, it's not perfect, it's not terrible, it's okay. Like, I can kind of deal with this. And I basically kind of know how to talk to my roommate about the trash situation, and I'm getting a little bit more accustomed to like waking up and going to my 7 a.m. class, and I think that I actually do belong here after all. So that's often the initial adjustment phase. Not as high as the honeymoon, but certainly above that initial culture shock phase that we feel. Often this initial adjustment happens, it's usually again sometime around October. Sometimes this initial adjustment doesn't happen until the end of the first semester. So if you start to hear sentiments from your student of just like, I don't know if I belong here, I don't know if this is the place for me, there might still be some culture shock that they are experiencing, and you can just encourage them by letting them know this too shall pass. You will get used to it. You will understand what you can change, what you can't change, what you need to adjust on your end. This will be okay. You will reach a point that this feels a little bit more normal to you because you understand the lay of the land. After the initial adjustment, sometimes, not every student hits this, but it is also really common for students to hit another low, and this is called isolation. We often see this a lot around finals. Because they've already gone through their initial culture shock, so they feel like they know enough about the place, then their initial adjustment where they feel like they know enough about themselves and how they should respond to the place, and then they're hit with something new and really difficult, which can sometimes be finals or the very, very end of the semester, where maybe these conversations that we should have been having with our roommate we weren't having with our roommate, and suddenly everything is coming to a head. Or I wasn't going to my 7 a.m. class because I didn't really think that I needed to go every single time, and now I'm not doing well, and I'm about to take this final, and I'm very unprepared. This can be a really, really lonely time for students, and they often feel like they are the only ones who are experiencing it, which is why it's called isolation. But I'm sharing this with you, and in O groups, we will share this with them, because it's normal. It's extremely normal. We all feel at some point or another like maybe we're the only ones who don't belong here and everybody else has it figured out. That's often what isolation looks like. Typically this happens in November or December, but again, we can see some variety just depending on the nature of the student and the nature of the experience that they're having and the circumstances surrounding them. But the good news is the final phase is integration. Integration means we feel like we've done it all. We've been through the highs, we've been through the lows, we did the good stuff, we did the bad stuff, we made the mistakes, we made the good decisions, and we got it. We are, we're kind of officially part of this community here, gone through the gauntlet, and now we understand enough about the culture, we understand enough about ourselves, and we understand enough about how we can flex according to the situation because we know more of what the situation demands. So this is the integration phase. Oftentimes we see students hit this when they come back for their second semester. Even leaving the first semester, a lot of times we'll still feel some of that isolation, especially when they head back home. If you have students who are living, if any of you live a little further away and they'll be coming back home for Christmas, sometimes that's really difficult because you get this like reverse culture shock situation. But then once they come back, what we almost always see is this like, oh yeah, I belong here. I can do this. I did this before. I got this. And all of our students who have successfully gone through GCU have hit this integration phase at one point or another. So this is just a snapshot of what it is that your students will be learning tonight in their orientation groups. I share this with you because I want for you to be able to normalize this change as well, so that if your student calls you in the middle of October and talks to you about a roommate conflict and says that they tried to solve it by putting like a sticky note with a smiley face on the mirror about taking out the trash or doing the dishes, and somehow that hasn't worked and their roommate hasn't gotten a clue, that you can say, this feels pretty normal. Like, you're probably not the only student who has experienced something like this. Why don't you talk to your RA, or why don't you talk to an upperclassman friend that you have and see what they did when they had a similar roommate conflict, so you can help them to reach a little bit more homeostasis. The more that you can support them by encouraging them to figure out the ups and downs on their own, the sooner and the better that they are likely to hit that integration phase, and the more confidence it builds in them, versus a response of, your roommate's not getting the sticky note thing, well, I'll try a little bit more aggressive approach. I'm just gonna talk to your roommate. That's obviously not the appropriate response that we want. So we want for you guys to understand what this process looks like so that it can be normal when if and when you see your student going through this too, you have a little bit more of a tool belt to be able to respond to them well. So that's all that I have for you. I am actually going to turn it over to one of our students, Megan Campbell, who is serving as one of our student leaders, and she is going to be facilitating a panel for you for the next stretch of the parent-family orientation. So please join me in welcoming Megan up to the stage.
Hi everyone, so nice to see you all. My name is Megan Campbell-Smith. As Charity mentioned, I am a senior here at Grand Canyon University. I am a student leader on campus. I have been all 4 years of my time here. I spent 3 on the Associated Students of Grand Canyon University, which is our student government. And then this final year I'm spending on spiritual life as a local outreach student leader, where our job is basically just to mobilize students to be able to volunteer in the Phoenix area, get transportation and get connected with all those organizations and just have an opportunity to serve. Aside from that, I'm also a student worker, so I work at the Antelope Reception Center as a tour guide, as well as an ARC ambassador. So if you've taken a guided tour of the campus, it was probably from me or one of my coworkers. So safe to say I know a lot about GCU, but I'm here to make sure that you guys know just as much as I do. So we are going to start that off with a quick video from some of our other students.
What's up? Back with another Ask GCU episode. I'm your host, Jaden.
And I'm Aldrich, and today we're going to be looking at health and safety.
Let's go check it out.
All right.
today I'll be asking, do you guys have any experiences with student care, public safety, or like the health center?
Yes, actually, I go to the health center. I had strep literally last week, and I got like antibiotics from the health center. They're super helpful. It's better than going to the doctor at home, actually.
Well, hey guys, we are here at the Canyon Health and Wellness Clinic, and I am joined by Lauren. So Lauren, what do you do here?
Hi, I am the front office manager, and I've been here for 11 years. We function as a doctor's office with an orthopedic physician, nurse practitioners, a psych NP, a dietitian, and even x-ray. Does your child need blood work? An IV? We got them. We also offer low-cost prescriptions. Our goal is to do our best to fit their medical needs. We offer scheduled appointments as well as same-day walk-in visits. To make your appointment speedy, it is important to have the portal forms filled out prior to the appointment. And you can find those on gcu.studenthealthportal.com. We look forward to taking care of your child. Lopes up.
So look, I got some questions for you.
Yeah, you guys want to ride?
Definitely, bro. It's hot.
Get in there.
But only if you answer my questions.
Okay. Public safety here is fantastic. They're on their game.
Everywhere we see like public safety officers driving around with their cars and their golf carts.
Whatever time of day it is, they're just going to be there, ask me for ID, and it just makes me feel that much safer on campus.
And there's those like blue buttons that I just press.
Those blue buttons are really nice. One press away from help.
Hey Lopes, we're here at Public Safety, and I'm here with...
I am Merton. I'm the Senior Campus Safety Manager here at GCU. So public safety really incorporates a lot of different things. When people think of public safety, they first probably think of law enforcement, and that is part of it. So we do have a police force specifically for GCU, which also works in correspondence with the local PD, which is Phoenix PD. Additionally, though, we also have over 100 guards that do the day-to-day operations of checking people coming into the booths, checking permits, IDs. We respond to calls, medical calls, fire alarm calls. We also assist with transporting people that may be injured or doing those types of things. Additionally, public safety also has our parking and permits. So students looking to get parking here on campus, they would come to Building 80. Additionally, we do have lost and found. Lastly, if they need to file a report, they can come into our lobby and meet with one of our officers and file a police report. In addition to calling 602-639-8100 where they can file a report online as well. Public safety here, both our police and our guards are 24/7, 365 days a year. So we're constantly here being vigilant. We work all the gates at all times, and we work with various groups on campus.
One of my buddies also used some of there's like on-campus therapy here.
I know somebody who's actually used the counseling services here, and she really liked it. She did a couple group sessions, and then she actually got to go like every week for a little therapy session, which is super cool, and it's free.
We have like 10 free counselors.
The student care has been a really great resource. They're able to get you in and meet with someone who's able to help answer those questions.
I feel like it's hard to find like good counselors like that nowadays, so I feel like GCU has really great counselors.
So students should take advantage of the free counseling here.
If they need it. Hey, so students go check that out, and it's approved, right?
Approved, baby.
Hey Lopes, it's your host, Jaden here, and today I'm here with...
Christina Tibbetts. I am one of the campus therapists with our student care department.
Nice. Well, we just appreciate all your help for all the students. And what is student care?
Student care is the department that provides mental health resources for all traditional on-ground students here at GCU. The student care office is the second floor of this building behind us, building 26. We're right up the stairs, second floor. You'll follow the signs to find our front desk. The mental health services we provide are all based off of clinical assessment. So if a student would like to speak with a therapist regarding any kind of mental health issues they might be experiencing, then they would come to our front desk. They could fill out some paperwork, and we would schedule them for what we call a consultation. And during that consultation, based off of the therapist's clinical assessment, they'll make recommendations or referrals based off of what that student needs. Another thing to know is that our services are included in the tuition that the student is paying to the school. So these services come at no additional cost to the student. You can find more information about our office and the services we provide, as well as see our team of therapists on GCU's website, housed under the Student Affairs section. To schedule an appointment, you do have to come in person.
We were able to check out the health and safety services, and I hope you guys learned something, because I definitely did. What about you, Jade?
I most definitely did, and I would say make sure to utilize all these resources. They're very affordable and accessible. But that's all we have for you today. So Lopes up and Lopes out. Hey!
So with that, we are going to start the Q&A portion of our session today. So we're going to begin with health and safety. So please welcome me in inviting James and Mike up to the stage. Awesome. Hi, you guys. If you wouldn't mind just explaining to the parents your name and then a little bit about what you guys do on campus.
Excellent. Good evening, parents and family. My name is James Jackson, as the slide up there says, and a little bit about myself. I'm an Arizona native, born and raised here in the state of Arizona. I joined law enforcement about 32 years ago. About 2.5 years ago, I came to GCU to be the assistant police chief, and now I'm the chief of police here. So real quick about me and my department. So the video that you've seen that we have there basically encompasses everything that we do here. So we have 24/7 police coverage, guards at the booths, things like that. But the big thing that I get to do for GCU is I get to interact with all the parents, the students, the faculty, things like that. And then I work closely with the city of Phoenix to kind of help us keep our campus safe. So on campus, we have a really safe campus. On the outside of campus, you know, there's some individuals that want to get in here. If they don't have any business here, I don't want them here. I want our students here. So just rest assured that we spend most of our time doing that. And then also what I get to do for this GCU police department here is I get to orchestrate training for my staff. So I used the summer to make sure that my staff was certified in AED, CPR, the new updates on Clery, Title IX, things like that, so that we can provide the best customer service for our students and faculty.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Hi, guys. I'm Mike Wallace. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I've been at GCU almost 7 years, I think in December. Really love my job. I've been in the field for about 26 years. I'm also an adjunct professor here at Grand Canyon. Yeah, let me just talk to you a little bit about student care. We're an office here for mental health issues for our undergrad students. We have 9 therapists. We've grown over the last few years since I've been here. And like Christina, my colleague, said, their services here, mental health services, are built in the tuition, so it's absolutely free. And we basically deal with, you know, loneliness, stress, a lot of adjustment issues with our students. And if they need a higher level of care, we're also connected in the community for resources. And welcome, and I hope you guys have a great week.
Awesome. So we have a QR code up on the screen, so that is going to direct you guys to a forum where you can send your own questions in to have us ask up here. But in the meantime, we're going to ask some questions we already have prepared, and then we'll go into the parent questions. So our first question is going to be for you, Mike. Where do I direct my child to get help? Would that be the student care office, or would that be the health care office?
Yeah, good question. It's a student care office. We are on the northwest side, not this first grassy knoll, but the second major grassy knoll to the northwest of here. It's building 26. You come up to the second floor, walk up to the reception desk, and your student will get paperwork. It takes about 15 minutes. You get a half-hour consultation, and then we go from there. So that's how that works.
Awesome. And then bouncing back to you, James, what would be the best way for a student to call in an emergency on campus if they were to see something?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So they can call 911 and it'll go through Phoenix Dispatch Center and it'll come to us. Or they can call our department. It's 602-639-8100. And I worked with Student Services earlier this summer to make sure that our number is on the back of every ID card. So it's there for their use.
That's awesome. And then back to you, Mike. What is the consultation process for student care if a student was interested in getting help there? And then is there a max number of visits that a student can go to during their time at GCU?
Okay, very good. Two-tiered question. Yeah, the process is pretty simple, kind of like what I said before. If your student, you feel they need mental health services, just encourage them to go to Building 26, second floor. They will fill out paperwork. It takes about 15 minutes. They'll have a half-hour consultation with a therapist. And then that therapist will deem what they need. We have a new service. It's called Wellness Workshops, which we piloted last year, and it's kind of neat because it's kind of streamlined our services. Because as you can imagine, there's 17 to 20,000 students on campus. And they get wind that we have free services, so we get a lot of students coming through our system. So a lot of them, what will happen is there'll be a consult. They will probably have to go through 3 workshops. These are coping skills workshops, anywhere from emotional regulation issues, basically changing your thinking, and the last one is boundary issues, which are huge. And kind of getting back to Charity's point with the W, a lot of times in mid-October we'll have a lot of clients that have a lot of adjustment issues, they're missing home, a lot of those things. So we do a really good job of meeting all the services for all the students, because we roughly have 81 consults a week, and that's why we have 9 therapists to help service your students that come through our system. So basically, yeah, it's a consultation process, which is half an hour. Then they'll probably go through 3 workshops and then individual counseling, which has streamlined our services. It gives the students what they need, and it helps us serve them better. And I would say on the average for one-on-one counseling, it's probably twice a month. And we also have groups, which we started about 3 years ago, which I'm really excited about. Anywhere from connection issues, anxiety, adjustments. We have a seniors group for those that are about ready to graduate. And so it's a pretty easy process.
Awesome. James, question for you. Is there a curfew on GCU's campus to enter and exit?
So to enter and exit for visitors, yes, it's midnight. So after midnight, we don't allow visitors here, but until then, yes, they can have visitors.
Awesome. What about students? Is there a curfew for that?
There isn't. We see them roaming around, and they want to enjoy our campus. So we have plenty of guards out there 24/7 so that they can feel safe on our campus.
Yeah, and as a student, I can fully attest to that, especially as a young woman living in Phoenix on my own for the first time. My parents were like, a little bit worried about that, but GCU has made me feel so safe coming back on campus, whether it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning, or even, 2 in the afternoon. There's always going to be a public safety officer at the parameters of the school at every single entrance. So they're checking IDs, they're making sure that everyone that's there is supposed to be there and is a student. So especially when I'm coming back, by myself or late from work or something like that, I always know that I am safe on campus. So.
Absolutely, and if your student is coming back to campus late and say they're parking in one of the parking structures that's a little bit away from their residential living areas, have them give us a call. We will escort them or give them a ride to their dorm and make them feel safer. So.
That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Awesome. And then what would you do if there was an emergency on campus? Let's say there was a lockdown or something like that. As a student, what would be their first responsibility?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. So what we do is we use social media. I'm not very good at it, but I have a staff that is, one of those old relics, right? But we put it out on all of our social media platforms. We have alert media, and we inform all of our students. We have social media emails, things like that. And then for the parents, sometimes you'll get that message, hey, there's something going on campus. It may not be very clear to you. You get these cryptic texts from your students. And we have emergency.gcu.edu. You go to that website. We will put the same information on that website as we do for our students here on campus.
Awesome. And then back to you, Mike. Regarding students getting care on campus, let's say a parent is interested in knowing some of the information and just finding out about their student health consults. Is there a policy for that, or are parents allowed to have any information on that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Because I know I was a parent myself. I had a couple of kids that graduated here 2 years ago, and you want to know how, obviously, especially if they're a freshman, how they're doing. You cared about their health, mental health, those types of things. I do want you guys to know, because they're adults and they're, if they're 18 or older, confidentiality has to be maintained and protected. So if you want to know how your students are doing, if you have an idea that they're in our mental health services, you need to ask them directly about how's your counseling going. We cannot really, to be honest with you, if you called our office and said, is my child in counseling, we can neither confirm nor deny that. And that's not to be obtuse, it's just we have to maintain confidentiality because it's got to be a safe place where they can talk and process their issues. So the best way you could be supportive of your student, and if you're wondering how they're doing mental health wise, is just ask them. How's counseling going? How are things? Just get directly information directly from them. We cannot provide that because it's an ethical issue. If they are a minor, to this point though, if they're a minor and they're 17, we technically cannot do counseling unless you guys release privilege, and that means you have to sign, and there's paperwork in our office to sign if you want to release privilege so we can do counseling because they're a minor. And because they're a minor, you guys are their parents, you guys hold privilege. That's basically how that works.
Awesome. Okay, and then our last question is going to go to James regarding campus safety and those little emergency boxes with the help buttons. What's the response time if a student were to click the button there, and how does that process work? Like, does someone come physically, or what does that look like?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Yeah, so those blue lights, the boxes, we have a pretty immediate response to those. So those go directly into our dispatch center. It's 24/7, and I have guards and officers in the field. So it's a couple of seconds to a couple of minutes, and you'll have somebody physically there responding there, and probably multiple people responding there. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Great. Well, thank you guys so much for being here and for your time. If you could thank them for their time. Awesome. So we're going to move on to the second portion, which is going to be life on campus. So please join me in welcoming Sarah Byrne and Eric Nelson to the stage. Hi, guys. Awesome. So same kind of thing. If you could just introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself and your role on campus.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Sarah. I'm a residence life manager here, going into my 5th year working at GCU. Residence life is our goal is to make sure that all of the students who live on campus have a really positive experience in campus housing. We want to make sure that they always feel supported and safe, that they always have access to staff who can help them with any issue they might have when it comes to their housing and their living situation. And we also want to make sure that they make friends and have a community to get plugged into. So our staff do that through a series of different outreach methods like events that the RAs host. One thing I would really like for you to know is how our staffing structure works. So you've probably met some RAs today in the dorms. Those are our student leaders who live on every floor of every dorm or apartment building. They're current students, they're on scholarship for their position, and their whole role is focused on being present and available for your students. They're friends to your students, they host events for your students to meet other people and make friends, but they're also available for your students to ask questions to, seek help from with any general questions they might have about campus life. We also have resident directors. These are full-time staff members that also live in every single dorm and apartment building on campus. They have their own separate staff apartment building or apartments in every building, and then they office in the lobby. And they'll be in the lobby from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and they're always available for your student for any questions or help that they might need with campus life.
Cool. My name is Eric Nelson. I'm the director of our Spiritual Life office here at GCU. I've been here for about 6 years, and I do have a background in pastoral ministry and youth group ministry, and so basically what we try to do is provide campus ministry opportunities for your students that can range from worship services like our chapel that meets in here every week to smaller venue worship-based opportunities, service opportunities, life groups, which are Bible studies on each floor of every hall, and a variety of other things. What we also try to do is be a support for students handling crisis situations or things that maybe they might get leadership from their church back home. So if you have students moving in who maybe have that church connection back home and they're looking for that here in Phoenix, we would love to help them find a local church here in Phoenix and have those conversations with them. So we have a number of staff and really a lot of student leaders who run these ministries. And so what's amazing is our students will invite friends and new students especially to participate on campus ministries, to serve the community, short-term mission trips and whatnot. And so definitely if your student has a background in ministry or a passion for serving, we would highly encourage them to pursue student leadership where they can earn a scholarship if accepted to lead ministry opportunities here on campus.
Awesome. So parents, same thing as the last session. There's that QR code up there if you have any questions for Sarah or Eric. Just go ahead and scan that and submit it there. So I believe our first question will go to you, Eric. So I know you mentioned student leadership as an opportunity for students to get involved in spiritual life and worship team. But other than student leadership, how would a student get involved if they just want to serve but not necessarily lead?
Yeah, great question. So I'll hit this pretty quick. We have about 3 different worship services that take place every week, and part of that is show up with your friends, worship, hear a biblical message, pray together, and we have large-scale events, but also a lot smaller-scale worship events. Our life groups are led by life leaders, so they live on each floor of our res halls, and we have some commuter groups. And basically their job is to help with the RAs to shepherd the floor and be a resource. They host a weekly Bible study, there's snacks, friends. It's a really great opportunity for your student who's maybe in a couple days texting you saying, I'm not sure, I haven't found my place yet. You want to encourage them to meet the life leader on their floor and the RA on their floor. Those are the 2 resources we heavily promote. Locally, we have over 18 different ministries that we serve the community, and those range from teaching sports to kids, working with like children's VBS style ministry, working with the homeless, prison transition, whatnot. So there's so many different areas to serve in, and if your student has a particular passion for serving, they're easily going to find an opportunity to take that passion and make an impact, whether that's here on campus or in the community. Likewise, we have our global outreach team who serves global populations here in Phoenix and also equips students to participate on short-term mission trips that happen mostly in spring break and the following summer. And we do have workshops that are hosted every week that take students on a little bit of a deeper dive in terms of how to study the Bible well, how to pray effectively, how to find community well, and whatnot. So there's so many different ways. Honestly, if your student isn't sure, maybe they just want to tag along to something that a friend invites them to. That's the easiest entry point that is going to lead to a lot more connection.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that last point, just going with other friends. I got involved with student leadership in the first place because my roommate was interested, and I didn't want to be left alone. I was like, she's going to make all these new friends, and then I'm not going to have her. And it ended up being the biggest blessing for both of us, just because I was able to follow her in that and really gain a lot of community. So definitely get involved. And if you're not making the initial strides, find someone who is. So yeah, that's awesome. And then for you, Sarah, what are the visitation rules in buildings? And are they the same for every student in every building, or are they different depending on the style of housing?
Great question. Visitation is mostly the same across buildings, but it does vary slightly depending on if you're in an incoming building or if you're in an upperclassman building. So general rules for visitation, our visitation hours end at midnight. So students are welcome to have visitors of the opposite gender and significant others over, but they do need to leave and go back to their separate floors at midnight. If our students in the incoming living areas are having a friend of the opposite gender over, they should have their door to the main area, the shared common space, propped open at 90 degrees. And for all living areas, guests of the opposite gender and significant others are only allowed in the common shared spaces, so in those living rooms that all of the roommates share together, not in the bedrooms. And we have visitation in place mainly just to create some boundaries that help all of our residents to feel really comfortable and respected living together. It helps us avoid some roommate conflict, and it just overall makes our living spaces feel more welcoming to everyone.
Awesome. And then Eric, how do mission trips work on campus if a student wants to get involved with those?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of great partnerships with missions organizations across the world. And in October, so about 5 weeks from now, we'll have our annual missions fair. And we'll have all those partner mission organizations show up. So after our chapel that day, which will be themed for missions, the students can go out and really interact with all of our partners and learn about opportunities. Some of those are domestic, just here in the U.S., and some are throughout the world. They can range in price, in timeline, number of days, and there's a lot of different variety. Ultimately, we trust those partners and we work closely with them so that students can sign up, and if they're accepted to a trip, then they're going to find community with other students on that trip. We do have a handful of trips that are led by our own GCU staff, but ultimately we want to equip students to to go on these. So if you have questions about fundraising or, safety and whatnot, our staff is prepared to answer those for our students and parents because it is such an important part of our ministry here. We are trying to expand our ministries to be a little more domestic and even within the state of Arizona. So if you haven't ventured onto a short-term mission trip as a student and it's like, hey, I want to try this, but I'm not quite sure if I want to commit a whole week and a decent amount of money, there are shorter-term and cheaper opportunities that we're working on. So again, I would encourage you to send your students to our office where they can ask those questions.
Awesome. And then speaking of chapel, because you mentioned it, is chapel mandatory for students? I guess that could be for either of you.
So the chapel is not mandatory for students. It's definitely highly encouraged. Really, students that have a background in maybe the Christian faith are going to show up, and it might feel like a church service. If students aren't attending and have a background with the Christian faith, we would still say, come check it out. You really will feel encouraged being in this room with a full house and hearing a positive message from a local pastor or ministry leader. The student leaders that we do have, it is required for them. It is a collective kind of unifying effort to have all students together, but really nothing that we have, spiritually speaking, is going to be mandatory, but again, highly encouraged.
And as a first-year student, too, coming to chapel helped me find my home church, just because typically we'll have a pastor come from local churches around the area, and we'll kind of rotate through different speakers, and it'll mention, what church they're from, and then you'll get a little bit of a taste of what going to that congregation could be like. So especially your first year, if you're looking to get involved in a church but don't really know where to start, chapel's an incredible way to start because it's free, it's on campus, it's a short walk from wherever your students are living if they're on campus. So yeah, it's also, we call it church shopping here at GCU, but yeah, awesome. And then, Sarah, how would students find out who their life leader or their RA is for their specific floor?
Great question. So they can follow their building's Instagram account, which is posted in the lobby of every building. They also can look at the bulletin board on every single floor. All of their RA's information, including their contact information and the information for their life leader, will be on that bulletin board. They'll also be on flyers that are posted throughout the building. And they also can stop by their RD's office anytime between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. throughout the week, and their RD will be able to set up a time for them to meet their RA or life leader as well.
Awesome. Well, I think we are out of time, so that was the last question. But thank you both for your time. I appreciate it so much. Awesome. You're good to go. Awesome. So now we're going to enter the third and final portion of the Q&A, but we're going to begin it with a quick video.
Welcome to Lope Country. We are so excited for you to meet our amazing faculty and more of our staff who are here to support you and are committed to your well-being and success. Sometimes the professional titles and acronyms we use at GCU can be confusing. Take University Admissions Counselor, or UAC, for example. As the employee who initially introduced you to GCU and enrolled you into a program, that's my job. I'm a UAC. A Student Services Counselor, or SSC on the other hand, is a person who is responsible for your degree progression and financial clearance once you get to campus. So let's dive into the details. What are the differences between a UAC and SSC? UACs often live in different areas of the country where they recruit students. UACs counsel students and families through the enrollment process and serve as your primary point of contact when they have questions about academic programs, scholarships, financial aid, and housing. They also help with the application process, acceptance to GCU, building your first schedule, payment plans, and financial aid. Once you've started attending GCU, you will be assigned an SSC, who will take over and become your go-to resource for academic and financial assistance. Your SSC will work with you on degree requirements and other milestones all the way through graduation. Once on campus, you'll also begin to interact directly with departments like residence life, spiritual life, campus operations for parking, and many others. Student Services Counselors have offices on campus and are available during regular business hours, Monday through Friday. You can schedule your mandatory semester appointment with your SSC, speak with them over the phone, or send an email. SSCs also accept walk-in appointments for more urgent situations. Due to Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, which prevents GCU from releasing certain kinds of information, SSEs cannot text students about information on their record, so email and phone are your methods of contact. Speaking of FERPA, UACs can openly discuss a student's record with the student's family until the student officially starts attending GCU. Once the semester begins, FERPA protects each student's right to privacy, which means SSEs can only work directly with the student. Parent communication becomes limited. The only person permitted to take action or make a decision is the student. In short, if you are a new student who hasn't started courses yet, please contact your UAC if you have questions. If you're already on campus, please work with your SSE. Thank you for joining the herd. We look forward to meeting with you soon.
Great. Well, without further ado, let's welcome our last two panelists, Gian Bortolotti and Brian Jones. Awesome. So if you guys would like to introduce yourself and then a little bit about yourself and what you do on campus.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Jones. I am the director of the Academic and Career Excellence Centers. I have been a part of GCU's family for 2 years, but prior to that, I was a teacher and a principal in the area for 15 years. GCU is my dream job. This is my dream place to be. First time I walked on campus, everybody was smiling at me. Everybody was saying hi. I fell in love. So I'm in charge of, again, the tutoring centers is essentially what we are, but we are so much more than that. So we provide one-on-one assistance for academics. We provide group sessions, test prep sessions. We also have success workshops. We have a first-year experience team and a first-generation team this year that helps with transitions, with building community, finding community. And we're actually really excited that we're opening up a social space in one of our centers this year to, again, really encourage that community building.
That's awesome.
My name is Gian Bortolotti. I am a student services counselor here at GCU. I've been with the company for basically 7 years now, 3 in my current role. What our job is, in a way, is an extension of your university admissions counselor. They've got you to this point. You're here. We now take the baton, and hopefully in 4 years' time, we're back here in this arena celebrating graduation. So we are your point of contact for you, for your student. So if they ever encounter trouble, if they ever feel like they don't know where to go, send them our way. Our contact information is available in their portal. 2 main things that I'll harp on is the FERPA that you guys just saw on the video. Starting next week, next Tuesday, first day of classes, their account essentially goes into an active status where that FERPA is going to be live and full go. So anytime that for yourself, a parent or a third party wants to inquire about any information regarding the account, that FERPA password will be needed to discuss the account. You will find that FERPA, or if you want to be granted third-party access to the account, there is a form that can be filled out through the portal. If you don't know how to access that, contact your SSE. We can provide that to you. But that password that's created, there's some been wild ones, Michigan Girl 2003, exclamation point, whatever the case may be. Everyone has something different. But that password will grant you access for me to disclose how much the bill is, what's the class schedule going forward, those sort of things. But for the most part, we encourage students to manage their own account here. And so all of our communication tends to go directly through them, although we do encourage them to share information with you going forward. Hopefully, they are someone who checks their emails. If you know your child doesn't check their emails, I strongly encourage they start to do so, because our communication primarily goes through them, through their phone, so we'll definitely be reaching out to them. But again, we are a one-stop shop for them, so if, again, any questions come up, direct them to us. A lot of the individuals that have been up here that you're going to meet, their information, we can give them to them so they know where to go. Great.
Speaking of questions, one more time, all of your questions, please direct them to the QR code if you have any questions for the people up here. So our first question, Gian, will begin with you. Will parents be notified if their students are missing or not attending any classes?
So no, in the aspect, again, our communication primarily goes to the student. However, there is a system in place where we call faculty early alerts. The faculty will be reaching out to your student directly if they feel like they're not up to the standard where they should be in the class. So we have a system in place where they'll be reaching out to them, they'll be blowing them up, but they'll also be blowing us up as their SSC to make sure that we also communicate with them. And so that system is in place to make sure that we are providing the resources that they may need to be successful in the class, as well as the professor themselves reaching out. So, and there's different avenues that we provide to make sure a student is succeeding, whether it's the ACE Center, office hours through the professor, or again, just going through us and having that conversation to hopefully, again, provide them the resources that they may need.
And just to add to that, that early alert system also goes to us. So literally, if your student's grades start to drop, they get bombarded by everybody. So they'll get whichever adults they communicate with, they're going to be reaching out. So they get an email and a call and a voicemail from us. They get them from their residence directors. They'll get them from their coaches if they're in sport, whoever they come in contact with. Trust me, they are going to know, and they're going to redirect them into an ACE center or with their professor.
Awesome. How can students actually book those tutoring appointments?
That's a great question. So they do this in their Career Connections account in their Halo system. So there's a way to get this set up for them. They will be trained on this multiple times, especially in those first couple weeks. So they shouldn't have an issue figuring out how to do that. We will also provide that help for them as well. And I know that the professors also provide that information for them. But yeah, it's just simply on their Halo system. They go into their Career Connections and they get it.
Awesome. And then kind of following that up, does ACE offer any career help or student jobs, or is it strictly just academic tutoring?
Yes, I always forget that because my counterpart, I'm the academic side of things, and my counterpart is career side, and I always forget to include that in there. But I also don't want to forget, we also accept walk-ins. So if your student just wants to walk in, we have people that can take care of them, whenever they walk in, wherever they walk in. We have 13 centers around campus, so there's no excuses. They can find one just about anywhere. But yes, so so a little bit later in their career, or even in their first year, we also provide help with resume building, with interview prep, and if students are considering changing their majors, I know they can go to their SSCs, but we have student workers, so all of my tutors and all of my career workers, if you will, are all students. So all of these are students who ace their classes and they want to give back. A lot of times it's easier for the students to talk to other students rather than it is to talk to the adults. So that's what we love. We have 100 student workers, we have 100 student tutors, we also have folks who do the career stuff. So anybody who's considering maybe even changing a major or wants more information about other careers, we help them with all of that, and it's all through students, so it just makes that conversation a lot easier.
And to add to that, a lot of the times what we will do as SSCs is when they have those conversations of, I want to change my major, we will process those, but at the end of the day, sometimes we will send them over to ACE to have that little bit of extra guidance that they may need, just to reassure themselves if this is exactly what I want to do.
Awesome. And then, how do parents actually know who their child's SSC is on campus?
Perfect. Our contact information is located on the main page of the student portal. It's in the left-hand column, so you'll have our email and our phone number. Those phone numbers are our direct line. As you guys know, UACs have cell phones. Unfortunately, we don't, so we don't receive texts. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, so we encourage our students to reach out during those time periods. But if you do send us an email on a Saturday or a Sunday, we will get you first thing on Monday.
Awesome. And then I believe there's a question for me on here, so thanks, guys. So a parent asked what day-to-day life of a student looks like, so I guess I'll go with that. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a student worker as well as a student leader, so my day-to-day is probably going to be a little busier than the normal student, but typically I just wake up. I like to have my schedule in the morning, so I'll go to classes. I'll typically do like 9, 11, 1 p.m. classes just to get them over with during the day. But I will do that, and luckily all my classes are in the same building, so I don't have to run around, which is really nice. And then typically from class I'll go straight to work, and then I'll just work at the ARC for a few days. And then after those hours are done, most nights there's something to do on campus. My mom, when she dropped me off, was like, if you get bored here, there's something seriously wrong, because there's literally something to do every single night. So whether that's go to a worship night or there's a really fun event. Tomorrow they're having a silent disco right here where you guys are sitting, which is one of my favorite events of the entire year. So whether it's something fun like that or something just a little smaller, even a life group, I'll typically fill my evenings with that. And kind of between like classes and working, I'll normally just go to GCBC, the on-campus coffee shop, and I'll just study, or I'll do work because I work remotely as well, or just hang out with a friend. Going to coffee is always something I like to incorporate in my week just to keep myself connected with my acquaintances. So that's a little bit about a day-to-day life of a student. I know it's a little abnormal since I'm already so involved, but yeah, even my freshman year, that's pretty much what my day-to-day looked like, and I'd say that's pretty standard. So yeah, awesome. Well, I think that is the end of our academic session. So thank you guys so much for being here. I think we're going to move on now, but thank you. Awesome. And then that ends my time here as well. So thank you so much for giving us your attention and your time. I hope you learned a little bit more about your students' life here at GCU. I'm going to be handing it off to Miss Robin Hurd to finish.
But that'd be cool if my
The second.
That'd be funny if my last name was Hurd. It's not, it's Horde. Hello, I'm gonna do two quick things before I get going. So first, you have a lot of information coming at you. So I just want to let you know that today's session is being recorded. So if you just want to Google GCU's YouTube channel, you'll be able to see this. Or if you run into some other parents that go, oh, I missed it, say, it's okay. They recorded it, you can watch it and like pause it and play things back. The second thing is that your student is entering an amazing community here at GCU. And we all know that the reason our community is so amazing is really because of all of you. So I just want to take a hot second and thank you all for the amazing job that you've done to raise such phenomenal humans that we get to enjoy on campus. So give yourself a big fat hand. And I say that completely and honest. I mean, I think all of us would attest and agree. You guys are amazing. So, welcome, Lope families. I have the honor of serving you, working with you, helping you. My name is Robin Horde, and I am the Parent and Family Programs Coordinator here at GCU. I'm entering my 10th academic year, which I can't quite believe. My first 4 years were spent in residence life working as a student conduct coordinator. I officed with Holly Neely, who happens to be sitting in the front row. So Prescott Hall, which now houses Chick-fil-A and Subway, that's pretty much our office. Yeah, and then two other colleagues who were a little bit crowded, but all of student affairs was right underneath Prescott Hall. So we've seen a lot of change. That is the constant of GCU. We're always changing. And for some of us, that can be kind of scary, but the really cool thing about change at GCU is that we're always making things better. So I absolutely love it. I've seen a lot of change in my time here. So the first 4 years, student conduct, and then I was able to transition into this role in 2018. And it has just been an honor and a real blessing for me. So you're seeing behind me, I'm not gonna turn around because it's massive, my sweet family. So Scott and I have been married for almost 28 years. We are old. I remember when we first got married and we would look at people who were celebrating those anniversaries going, my gosh, am I gonna get sick of you? We haven't. I still like them a lot. And then we have had 3 kids. So Samantha is our oldest. She's 24. Ryan is 22. And Jaden, baby Jay, third born. They're always the babies, right? He's going to turn 18 in October. So how many of you, this is your last kid? Raise your hand again. Yeah. Scott and I don't know, we're like the weirdos. We're like high-fiving, like we're almost there. So I don't know, if you're really sad, I was talking to a mom today in Thunderground. I'm over there every morning this week, so if you want to come and get some free swag, come see me. And she goes, oh no, I think you'll be sad next year. And she's probably right, but for now, while he's still home with me, we're excited about it. So that's my family. So let me just talk really quickly about parent and family programs. The whole reason that I love my job is because ultimately, by partnering with you, we're serving your student well. So I will say this every time you hear me speak, you all are our most important partner. You truly are, because we know that whole W that Charity did such a great job explaining to you, when they're in those lower portions of that W, we know that they're going to call you. And when they call you, we're very dependent upon how you respond and react to that low point. And so really our hope and desire of what you're gaining this week of hanging out with us is trust. I really want you to trust us. We have policies, procedures, and processes in place that are truly going to serve your student well if they can adhere to them. So, you know, we're very much community-led. We have probably one of the highest percentages of student leaders on our campus. So literally just going down the hall of their residence hall or hitting up that commuter lounge and talking to a student leader, if they don't know what's going on, they're going to help them. So for you, when they call home, if you answer and you've got that confidence in your voice, you coach them up well, maybe even role play with them, they're going to step out in whatever is going on, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to hit that high of that W, even at a quicker pace, because they called you, you entrusted them with us, and they're going to thrive. So that's why you're so important. So even if you're feeling like you want to cry with them, just take a hot second, exude confidence, and then call me, and then we'll cry. Did anybody else cry, or is it just me during that video where they're holding up the lights? Okay, thank you. I mean, my kids were here like in 2017 and 19. I still cry. And the pinning. So anyway, I'm always up for a good little emotional cleanse. Give me a call. All right. So I'm going to teach you what Parent-Family Programs is all about. Spoiler alert, it's going to look like this. Does everyone know how to do your lopes up? Just show me. I know a lot of us 80s kids, we want to just rock it out. No, we can make it a lope. Good. Great. So the 4 values that we really stand upon are pray, care, serve, and give. So let's unpack those a little bit more. So your 2 middle fingers here are the serve and the give. And those are so important here at GCU that we actually give an entire day to each of those. So the last Thursday in October is our day of giving. And for parents, we really encourage you to give to our Students Inspiring Students Scholarship Fund. We give out scholarships to students around our community so that they can come here and have a phenomenal experience as a student and gain an education. And that's all done through gifts that are given to the university. We also have what's called a Student Benevolence Fund. Some of you, if you've already signed up for Family Weekend, you've already given to that. If you sign up for the Thunder Run 5K, the majority of that entrance fee is going right into that fund. In fact, we were already able to use a good amount of that money for our Fostering Future students. So thank you if you've already done that. And then finally, Brian Mueller spoke about the GCU City Serve. We serve an entire morning over there the last Saturday of February. So this year, that'll be on February 24th. So if you're in town and want to, or even if you want to fly in and come to that just this last year, last February, me, my parent council members, and then the volunteers that came in, we processed 2 truckloads in 4 hours. So I was listening as President Brian Mueller was speaking. He said, yeah, we process about 2 truckloads a week. Not when the parents are in town. We do 2 truckloads in 4 hours. So if you want to be a part of that, it's super fun. The other thing that happens on that day is my Lope family groups that we'll talk about in a little bit. They serve in their communities wherever they are. So wherever you are, you don't have to be here. You can be part of giving and serving. So take those 2 fingers, bring them down. Now we're going to talk about these 2 fingers. So your pinky, that's going to be for prayer. Super important. That's the foundation, really, of what we ask for you to do. Obviously, you do pray for your students all the time, but how much more powerful is it? And we all know this when you're together in a community. So during the academic year, most of our groups start in September, some in August, and they meet monthly through the end of the academic year in April. And they get together to pray for their kids. My husband and I, we've had our group in our home meeting since 2019, which is when we started these. And we have an acronym that we say, pray for the campus. So campus, real easy. Community, your students' academic work, their mental health, their physical health, unity of the campus, and their spiritual growth. So if you're just praying at all for campus, it's just really easy to remember that acronym. So the groups, like I said, started in 2019. We have about 100 groups all across the country. If you're interested in that, I'll tell you how you can find those later. And then finally, the care. We're caring for our students in a little bit different way than we've ever done. I remember when Scott and I were dropping off Sam out in Ironwood. Anybody's kids in Ironwood? Let's go. Okay, we were freaked out, right? Because you read all the books when they're babies, and then you read, Dobson's books and the whole 0 to 5 and brain development, and then you bring them here. And everyone's telling you that your kid is an adult, and you're looking at them and you're like, no, I just dropped her off at kindergarten. She is not an adult. But they are, right? So that partnership that I talked about, that caring, I'm going to talk about the ABCs of parenting. And again, I'm not going to tell you how to parent. I'm just going to give you a few little tips. So, but before we move on to those ABCs, this thumb, this is going to be really important for you. So the next slide I'm going to throw up. Go ahead and take out your phones. This is your QR code will take you to what's called our GCU communication portal, family communication portal. Now, please don't confuse this with your parent portal. I wasn't part of the committee that chose the name. I'm so sorry. I would have left portal out of it, but I got it. So just come back to this. If it comes up and you need to log in, that just means that you haven't set up your profile yet. There's going to be a little bit of a form and some questions for you to fill out. That's just going to help me get to know you within the thousands of you. So I already have 28,000 parents on this platform. It's called Campus ESP. Really, all of the major universities of Arizona use this platform. It is phenomenal. It is not an app. It is web-based. So it's just one of those that I always keep open on my, Safari tab. So grab that. You can come back to that. And I just want to say thank you, Copper State, because they paid for it. If you're looking for a bank for your kid, Copper State. Was that good, Holly? Was that a good commercial? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the ABCs. So back to this caring. One of my colleagues that I work with on the 5th floor of Building 18, a lot of the professors in the College of Humanities and Social Science are there, and she said, Robin, when you tell the parents about how to care, hold up, because I showed her my little lope thing, and she goes, tell them not to call their professors, their kids' professors. So I promised her I would. So Evie, you're welcome. But in all seriousness, it's a little bit different, right? Because 0 to 18, they're home with us. And now they're here, and they're still developing these lovely frontal lobes, and you know that they're not going to make the best decisions, but they have to do it, right? So my A in the ABCs of parenting this lovely little baby adult. I want you to be available to your student, but not necessarily annoying, right? So what does that look like? We know, pretend this is my cell phone, right? The little baby ones that we had back in the day in 2002. Because you know they have it, and they're always with it, and you text them, hey, how are you doing? And you're waiting. And they don't answer you, so what do you do? What are you doing? Are you doing laundry? Are you studying? What are you doing? And they still don't answer. And then you text again and again and again. That might be annoying. So don't do that. But what might you do? You might be available. And so instead, when you wake up in the morning, you send your sweet son or daughter or granddaughter or whoever you have here a lovely text that says, I'm really thinking about you today. I'm praying for you. I know you have a test or whatever, because you have a set time that you guys are communicating each week to stay in touch. And then just say, you know what, when you have a moment today, or maybe it's even tomorrow, I'd love to just touch base, see how you're doing. How can I continue to pray for you? So you're available. You're giving them that control because we want them to be, this is their normal here, right? You're not necessarily here, and that's not necessarily good or bad. It's just what it is. So again, learning how to partner with us and them here, that's one of the ways. The availability of you, because you play a huge role, but we don't want you to be annoying because we know that we want them to call you. Okay, so believe in them. Oh my goodness, believe in them. And really try to resist that temptation to belittle them. Because again, as I mentioned, that frontal lobe, they don't have it all yet, right? So they're gonna make some decisions, maybe some choices, whether it be academia, whether it be, in a roommate situation, that you're gonna hear what they say, and you're gonna wanna just go, why in the world did you do that? They might not want to call and tell you anything if you talk to them like that, or if you respond like that. Have I done it? You bet. You bet I have, with all my kids, of course. Because we've been on the planet just a lot of years more so, right? So they're going to make those mistakes. So instead of that comment, you might say something like this. Yeah, I could see maybe why you might have said that or reacted that way or even done that, but I'm just curious if you can just step back with me, look at it from a few different angles with me. What if you would have responded in this way? What if your reaction were like this? Can you see how the outcome might have been X, Y, or Z? Just giving them that wisdom that we've had and we've been able to just really live through because of the experience that we've had with the years. So that's your B. Finally, the C. This is the hardest for me. Anybody like to just kind of know what's happening? You like to know a plan. Control is a nice thing. Thank you for your honesty, yes. So C, thank you, Mom. We want to really resist that urge to control. I know that you all got that lovely little one-page printout with the 4-year plan for their classes. Isn't that lovely? I love it. Well, you know what's going to happen? They might change their major. And that one-sheet little plan, it's gone. So when that happens, let's just go with that example. They call home, oh my gosh, Mom, I'm going to be a dancer. I'm going to teach dance, and it's going to be great. And you're like, I thought you were going to be a nurse. Just roll with it, because how long is that going to last? It might just be a whim, Just take it and ask all those lovely open-ended questions. Tell me more about that. What's that going to look like? And then just wait and see. Just wait and see. So that's your C. Communicate. Don't necessarily control. One more thing I want to read from this slide. I had a sweet mom from yesterday email me after this session. She said, can you please send me that quote? Quick little tidbit. When I first read this quote and first did this whole presentation, my son was a freshman here at GCU. It was all I could do to read this without crying, but I'm going to do it today. All right, so this is for you all. To raise a child who is comfortable enough to leave you means you've done your job. They are not ours to keep, but to teach how to soar on their own. And just like I mentioned when we first started, you guys have done a phenomenal job, and your students are absolutely going to soar. All right. So finally, the last slide I have for you, and really the last thing I want to talk about, is my beautiful parent council members. And I have a past parent council member here right now. She's actually on the screen, and she's sitting right here. Tammy Bell. She was one of my first parent council members and now has another student here. So my parent council members, they serve a 2-year term with me that's completely voluntary. They're a little bit crazy because I'm wild. But they meet with me monthly. They hear my crazy ideas, offer super big support for our big events like Family Weekend and our Serve Day, but they also really serve as ambassadors of the university to serve you. They're specifically chosen by really geography, so that whether you're on the east side of the country, west side, in Hawaii, you've got someone that you can contact. So if you visit our website, you're going to see all of their pictures and all of their emails so that you can be in touch with them. They all also lead a Lope family group. So it's very likely that if you choose a Lope family group, it might be one of them. So they are just some of my favorite people on the planet, truly. All right, finally, I want you to take a look at this last slide and take a picture. If you need anything, I'm your girl. Call me. I've got a voicemail waiting for me, just one, but I really, really do enjoy talking with you on the phone because sometimes you just need someone, especially if you're a first-time parent of a student going to university, just to talk it through, just process it through. Robin, I don't understand what's going on with this scenario. I do. Let's talk it through. Let me explain the why behind what's going on, because really, I find if, as parents, you understand the why, it's really going to help you, and then it's going to help you, again, what are we doing? Helping you serve the student body here. So I sure appreciated our time together. Thank you for staying. Thank you for sitting for so long. I'm going to hang out a little bit after if you have any questions, but Lope families, thank you again for being here. We love you so much. Have a great time.
Then something happened one magical night.